Our next question comes from Salem resident Angela Obery.
Good evening. I frequently cross the Willamette River using the two bridges here in Salem, and I have found that traffic has flowed efficiently with few problems. So my question is, besides a shortened commute for individuals who choose to travel during the rush hour traffic, what does the vast majority of Salem citizens gain for $670 million that a new bridge would cost?
Mr. Chapman, go ahead and take that first.
All right. Well, I am the transit representative on the Bridge Oversight Committee, and one of, I think, 6 or 7 elected officials who sits on that committee and guides the EIS process. The bridge is congested, and the period of congestion is, hour and a half, I don't know, something like that during the course of the day. But it is only going to get worse. And there is a problem because of the lack of alternatives. The alternatives are so far away. And at this point, we haven't figured out, I don't think the city has really figured out a way to, if one bridge has a problem, how to survive on only one. I don't think a bridge by itself is a solution. I think we need to do land use, build a quality center in West Salem so that folks don't need to travel as often to West Salem. I think having a better transit system, I've often mentioned the idea of using the railroad bridge in conjunction to accommodate both pedestrian bikes and the transit as well. But I have been convinced that there is a need. I don't know that we'll ever get $670 million. It will be very expensive, and it will end up being tolled by probably for the residents of West Salem. So I'm also just looking at pushing for what is called a low build alternative, some other alternative that isn't going to generate, once you build that bridge, people will drive on it. It is actually just a fact that you build it and they will come. And so looking at something on the existing bridges that might meet the needs for an extended period of time.
Okay. Mrs. Dickey.
I also support looking into some of the alternatives because I don't think that a bridge will take care of all of the potential issues that we will have in the future. At this point, I don't believe Salem is in a position budget-wise to, and I understand the funding would come from several different sources, but I think we have some serious budget issues to deal with, and I'm not sure that we're in a position to be setting aside money right now for this. I think there are a lot of really good alternatives that we can use in the meantime to alleviate, such as transit, such as other traffic where you're talking about carpooling or other issues. I think maybe sometime in the future that will definitely be something that's necessary, but I don't know if this is the right time for that to happen.
Councilor Bennett?
Well, it's sort of deja vu for me. I went to work for the Capital Journal, which was, Statesman Journal. I was the journal side of that. I was an afternoon, I was a reporter on the afternoon paper at City Hall. And the story of the day, and this is back in the mid-early 1970s, was Third Bridge in Salem and how badly we needed it. This is a cult. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. No, it is a belief system, I guess. We have been working on a third bridge for my adult life in Salem, and I would not want to pass on to the next world and not have a bridge to cross to get there at this point. It has been a long discussion, and it's interesting how it evolves. At the time, we needed no third bridge because I wasn't caught in traffic. I mean, that is a common, I'm never caught in traffic. I never go across that bridge during rush hour, and the one time I tried, a guy was standing on it threatening to jump, and I was late to a meeting as a result. by hours. And that, it points to, I think, kind of the ongoing problem with the bridge here in Salem. We only have two. We have almost two cities divided by that river. One gets filled, and we are in deep trouble trying to communicate with each other, at least in terms of traffic. And I think Lloyd really pointed it out well. This just gets worse over time. And in looking at the modeling that's gone on, you move, and I will get these numbers wrong, okay, but the magnitude is what it sounds like. You got a 15-minute wait this year. Next year it's a half an hour, and it just keeps moving back. And it isn't just in time, and you know, if you think about it, what you're doing is moving from the bridge toward 12th Street. And that is filling up, and it's filling up for a longer period of time. The bridge is looking out about 25 years and what this place is going to be like and what our needs look like. It is needed. Whether it'll be built, I think, is problematic based on this huge price tag of $670 million. There are other alternatives, which will be to add lanes to the Center and Marion Street bridges, to develop a better landing on the West Salem side as that portion of it at Wallace and Edgewater is being redeveloped, widening Center Street and Marion Street by eliminating on-street parking in order to gain lanes. The alternatives, and as you keep thinking about it and talking about it, it gets less and less attractive. There's a missing element, though, and I'm really convinced that it's one that we haven't maximized, and that's mass transit. And certainly Lloyd is a much greater expert than I am, but at this point, Salem has not resolved its transportation goals, really, as to where we're headed, and certainly hasn't resolved it with LCDC, the statewide planning organization, as to where we're headed. And I think one of our shortcomings occurs in mass transit. I've noticed, and I'm new to the council, but the council and the transit district don't talk much. We elected officials never sit down together. We don't have an ongoing meeting together about what's going on with mass transit in this community. And I think mass transit is key to transportation, along with a whole batch of other issues that we really need to be talking about, and it's something that I plan to spend some time on. I'm really genuinely concerned that if we're going to talk bridges, we better talk about buses, we better talk about some other things as well.